There's this moment most guys don't even notice. She's talking to someone else across the room, laughing, fully in her own world. And then, for just a second, she glances over at you. Not to say anything, not because you called her name, just to check. And then she looks away like it never happened. You probably told yourself it meant nothing. But what if that one glance was actually telling you everything? The thing about real attraction is that it rarely announces itself. It doesn't come wrapped in obvious signals or dramatic moments. It shows up quietly, in the spaces between what people say and what they actually do. And most of the time, she doesn't even know she's doing it. Think about a conversation you've had recently with a girl you're interested in. At some point, did she bring up something you mentioned before? Something small, almost throwaway, like a movie you said you wanted to watch or a place you mentioned in passing. That kind of memory isn't accidental. People don't hold on to details about people they don't care about. The brain filters out what doesn't matter. So if she's holding on to the small stuff, something in her is paying closer attention to you than she might admit, even to herself. There's another thing that happens when someone is drawn to you, and it's almost invisible when you're in the middle of it. Her body starts to sync with yours. Not in an obvious way. She's not mimicking you like a mirror. It's subtler than that. You shift in your seat, and a few seconds later, she does too. You slow your pace in conversation, and she naturally follows. It's not a conscious choice. It's what happens when the nervous system decides it trusts someone. It's connection happening underneath words. And then there's how she fills the silence. Most people, when they're nervous or unsure around someone, either go quiet or start talking too much. But with attraction, something different happens. She finds reasons to keep the conversation going, not because she ran out of things to do, but because leaving feels wrong. She'll ask a question she doesn't really need the answer to. She'll laugh a little longer than the joke deserved. She'll say, "Okay, I should go," and then still be standing there 2 minutes later. That's not distraction, that's reluctance. Pay attention to the way she positions herself physically, too. When there's a crowd and she's standing near you closer than the space requires, when she angles herself towards you even while talking to others, when she finds reasons for brief light contact, a hand on the arm, a shoulder brush, and none of it feels forced. These aren't scripted moves. They're her comfort level speaking without language. One of the quietest signs is how she talks about you to others. You might not see this directly, but you'll feel it when you meet her friends. If they already know little things about you, your name came up too naturally, they smiled at something you said like they had heard it before, she's been sharing you. People don't describe their days to their closest friends and randomly include someone who doesn't matter. If you're showing up in her stories, you're showing up in her mind. There's also something that happens with humor. Not just that she laughs at what you say, but that she saves that specific kind of ease for you. Around others, she might be witty, a little guarded, performing in the way people do in groups. But with you, she's a little looser, a little more willing to say the weird thing, to laugh at herself, to drop whatever image she was holding up. That kind of openness doesn't come from politeness, it comes from feeling safe. None of these things alone will tell you the full story. But when they start layering, when the glances keep happening, when she remembers the small things, when her body language says stay even as her words say nothing, that's not coincidence anymore. That's a signal she hasn't found the words for yet. And sometimes the only thing she's waiting for is for you to notice it first.